Time to talk some football. Hello, you all out there in YouTube land. Yes, she's game day. Game day in Saskatchewan. And it's starting to look more and more like fall. Fall colors are starting to pop up everywhere. Yes, sirree. That means we're getting closer to the big game. And it's looking better and better for the Roughriders making it to that cup this year. It's not over yet, but we're moving in on the closing in on a playoff spot anyway, and that's the first ticket you need. There's one ticket to that final game. Anyway, thought I'd talk a bit about the the games last night. The old Bombers went down to Hamilton. I had that one right. I knew Strevler. I was on their Bonfire Sports one, and I said, oh my gosh. Hi. Anyway, where was I? Some people went by here. Dog has to visit. He loves meeting people actually more than the dogs. He likes free pets. My rider, he likes free pets. He's a spoiled brat. Anyway, where was I with the Winnipeg Hamilton game? Yeah, Winnipeg, they couldn't even get Oliveira going, and that's Strevler. He couldn't hit the broadside of a barn door. Unbelievable. Yeah, he threw a couple pathetic interceptions, and yeah, he ran the ball a bit, but he made a bunch of yards at the end when it didn't really matter. It wasn't for the Winnipeg defense playing pretty good that they'd have been blowing out even worse. Even worse. Boy, the colors are really popping out today. Yeah, I love fall, but I don't like what it brings. Brings that snow and cold weather. But it was Ted game for that Ted Gove. I talked about him in the off season. I said they lost that Ted Gove to Hamilton, and I said they're gonna miss him. You know, there's all the rider. I mean, Bomber faithful. They're you know. We didn't recruit very good. Didn't get us any players and this and that. I said, well, he was one of your main guys. He had an eye for talent. And that's what I said. They lost him to Hamilton, and now poor Hamilton lost him to death. Sad, you know. Heard the news that he had cancer not that long ago, and man, he's already gone. Sad, rest in peace. You know, CFL is gonna miss that guy. In that position in the front office, it's not what you know. It's sniff out talent. It's, you know, you gotta have a good eye for talent. Plus, your main asset is knowing other people. You gotta have a big Rolodex, and having guys out there you know. As that's what is so valuable. Yeah, sad news on that. Yeah, but they showed him respect around the league. I'm sure they'll do the same at the Rider game today. He was well liked around the league. But that game, like I said, could have been a worse blowout than it was. Right now, you know, they're actually fighting for a playoff spot in the East, maybe. Right now they're looking out. I can't see them winning any games with Strevler. I also told them in that thing, I said, I don't know why they're not using Wilson. Like why did a lot of teams do that though? They refuse to go to the next man up. You know, like they're seeing Strevler struggling in the first half. You know, what do you got to lose? You know, can the guy be any worse? you know, he'd have to struggle to be any worse. You know, I know he probably didn't get many reps, but you got to give him reps. Give him a chance. You know, he didn't do great in preseason, but I didn't mind him. Like, it was not just Streveler's fault in that Winnipeg game. Their offense stunk all around. Thank God. You know, like their O-line, people have been saying for years that they're getting old, but they were still managing to get to the Grey Cup. Couldn't win them last couple, but they got there. That's all I want this year for the Riders. If we win, it's a bonus. But that, I was watching that Bryant, holy God. You might as well put a orange traffic pylon instead of a helmet on his head, because the bloody, they were running around him like he was just standing still, not even moving. That don't help the offense. And the other game, Ottawa and BC, I got that one right too. That one could have been more of a blowout. That Dustin Crum, I wonder how long his contract's for. He might be a guy if you can get him cheap. Like that guy, I like his style because he can run. Everybody knows I like a running quarterback. And Rourke finally started shining in that aspect. I was waiting for him to turn it on. And plus he was hitting his receivers pretty damn accurate too. It was one of his better games, that's for sure. But he showed his feet again. And you have to try to contain him. And he's not an easy package to contain. And this week I decided, I took him in the fantasy last week and should have had him this week. You know, like that's what I thought he would do to Ottawa. But that Crum, you know, I wonder how much longer his contract is. Yeah, because I wouldn't mind if you can get him at a good price. They pretty well demolished Ottawa. And so, like I said, Winnipeg might have a chance to cross over. But that's why one of the only reasons I'm mainly worried about this game today, our game today, is Montreal. Montreal's getting desperate. Oh, a doggy, another doggy. Where was I? Another person gone by here. I walk so slow turtles can pass me. Yeah. Oh well, because it's still a little bit smoky out here today again. Oh, where was I? Oh yeah, the Montreal. They're desperate. They got to try to stop that crossover. Like right now, you know, Toronto and Hamilton's going to be there, possibly Toronto, but I'm actually taking the Elks in that next game, after the Rider game, or before, I'm not sure. I'm taking the Elks in that game. Sorry, I keep getting interrupted. My turtle pace is quite a few people out here. Unusual. I'm on a little different path here that more people walk on. I usually walk on the more desolate trails. Not out here very long today. Be a short video, like I said. But Montreal, they're gonna have a hard time there. Like I said yesterday, with that, they don't have that Arlington. Plus, they don't have bloody Lemon. They're missing a couple of linemen there. I said in my last video. Plus, they're missing that speaker too. They got the other two receivers back, Mac but I think Bethel Thompson, I think we'll get to him pretty easily. Really, I do. He's not the most mobile quarterback. I think we sack him a few times. Maybe we'll see Patterson in today. Wouldn't that be something? If he come in and Sean, everybody go, oh, we shouldn't have got rid of Patterson. It's the same thing. Winnipeg got Patterson. You know, they're desperate over there. Desperate. You know, it seems you lose your quarterback these days, you're finished. I can't see Caleras coming back real quick. Even if he does come back, another bump away from being out of the game. They're hurting big time. Fan base is already starting to bail on them. Now, complaining. Mine just same thing happens to the Riders. No different. Everybody's happy when you're winning big time, but they're on them big time when they're not. I'm as much to blame for that too, but that's being a fan as far as I'm concerned. You gotta complain when things aren't going good, and try to turn it around. You know, never stop cheering for the Riders when they're in the basement, and now they're on the top. Man, oh man, they're starting to get some fans back. Winning does a lot for your franchise, that's for sure. Anyway, I'm just sort of babbling. I think Riders will take this one going away, really, unless Bethel Thompson surprises me. I don't see it, you know. You know, back in the day, you know, he was a pretty dangerous quarterback. He had some damn good games. Hopefully this isn't one of them, but his recent outings that I saw were not very good. And because it's going to be raining today, the run game is going to be so important. We're going to need that big time, and I think AJ Ouellette's going to chomp up some big yardage, and plus Anderson, you know, hopefully be able to use both 1-2 combo and rack up a lot of yards in the running game. Anyway, that's about it for this video. We'll talk to you tomorrow after the game, after the victory, and we're 11-2. I hope 11-2 sure sounds good, doesn't it, folks? Let's go for that 11-2, Riders. Goo, Riders, goo.